Hey kids, today our craft time is more of a cooking time.
Well, we're actually trying to make a recipe. We've got some shots that we've shared of one that didn't work. Never tried that one.
Okay, so we tried another one at lower wattage, and the plastic
Where are we even
is now stuck to the dish. So don't do that. Don't be like us. Maybe don't be like us and just don't make this particular craft. We're going to try and find you some fruit leather that's doesn't bond with the plastic.
No, but we're convinced that we're going to be able to make our own homemade fruit roll-ups. So today is attempt 2.
Yes, this time we're going to use the oven. So
yes.
That means we need to preheat it.
Yes, you want to get started cutting these strawberries while we preheat it?
All right, sounds like a plan.
All right, so what you want to do is you want to turn your oven to its lowest setting, which for us is 150. There are some ovens that'll go down to 140. If you have an oven that goes down to 140, use that setting. But you want to set your oven to its lowest possible temp. In some electric digital ovens, that means you're going to have to go to the keep warm setting and go from there. So you're going to cut up your strawberries. The goal is to have, how many cups of strawberries, Miss Chris?
2 to 3.
So.
Oh, we didn't tell them we need some kind of blender or food processor.
Yes, okay, so I'll tell you the supplies while she cuts up our strawberries. So you're going to need some type of blender or fruit processor. Of course, strawberries. You could probably make this with another fruit, but our original recipe says strawberries, and because of the disaster we had last time, we're going all with the original recipe. But once we discover if this one works, you know, you can try it with other. I would imagine other berries would work. I might be a little hesitant about other fruits because I don't know how the moisture content is different. But I would think you could branch out to other berries, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries. But you're going to want to put 2 cups of it into your food processor or your blender. Whatever.
2 to 3.
2 to 3. So, you're also going to want to add in some honey and some lemon juice. So let me look at the recipe. You're going to need 2 to 3 tablespoons of honey, which is kind of easy to remember. 2 to 3 cups of fruit and 2 to 3 tablespoons of honey. And then 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So it's a simple 3-ingredient recipe that we're very hopeful works. If not, all you're going to get is a craft video that says don't do this at home. But eventually, once we blend this all up, we're going to pour it onto a tray. You're not going to want one of those cookie sheets that doesn't have edges. You're definitely going to want edges on this one. And you can cover it with a silk hat or with parchment paper, whichever one you want.
Today I use
parchment paper is going to be better because you're going to actually be able to cut it and make the actual rolls like we're going for. But if you use a silk hat, then you're just going to kind of peel it up and eat it, honestly. If it was my house, like, I'd just eat it all.
And some have asked, it can be stored, these can be stored in an airtight container for up to a week.
If they turn out well. So a little gun shy after the last one.
The blender will mix the honey and the lemon juice.
Which saves you a dish. So.
The lemon juice, I believe, is 1 tablespoon.
2 tablespoons of lemon juice and 2 to 3 of honey.
I'm sure the variance in the honey is due to how sweet you might want it.
Yeah.
You can also use other sugar substitutes.
Blended it up where it's not completely smooth, but it's getting there, so I'm going to go ahead and add my honey. I want to make sure I get all this honey goodness.
Well, you have another tablespoon to put in, so.
I know, but still.
I like mine kind of tart, so maybe we can
I'm just going to put 2
this time. The honey is the sweetener. The lemon juice is to protect the fruit from discoloration. So. We're not going to use that one again.
Well, I don't need it for the lemon juice.
Unless you were unfortunate enough to only have 1 tablespoon measuring.
Well, I don't like the tablespoon too.
Oh, that's true.
I just like this much. But I'm going to cut all that discussion out. And 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. That is nice and sloshy, which is what we're going for. We're going for a liquid form. Now we're just going to pop it open. I'm going to let you pour it out. Sometimes you're a little neater than me.
All right. All right. I'm going to start in the center because it said to start in the center and spread it out some. I don't think we're going to have any problems spreading out.
Itself naturally. Well, maybe not.
Oh, this is looking good. Whoops. Cut that part out. You're not a good person here.
I'm not going to bake that.
All right.
Now, how thick did it say that we needed to spread it?
About 1/8 of an inch, but you don't want any gaps, holes, or any such
So
thing.
you want it to be thick, but kind of see-through, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good way to do it. I think we need to stick with the
I also wonder if I could tilt the pan.
Yeah, with as sloshy as it is.
I'm going to try that. Get it a little more even.
So we highly recommend the tilting the pan method. Just gently. You don't really want to let your kids do that part. You want to tilt it yourself and just kind of, I don't know if you remember those marble mazes we used to have as kids. Kind of like a marble maze tilt, not, I think ours isn't going to be square. I think that's okay.
That's all right.
Yeah.
This is homemade, so it's not going to be perfect, and that's the fun of it.
Yeah, but I don't know that we want to.
Spread it much
Yeah.
thinner. All right. I think it looks pretty even, don't you, Miss Lily?
Yeah, we're going to go with this thickness. It looks like it's 1/8 of an inch. Of course, we're not putting a ruler. I guess if you had a plastic ruler, you could do that, but we're just having fun here. So now it goes into the oven.
Okay, our oven's ready, and we're going to stick it in the oven. The time is dependent on your oven. Every oven's going to cook differently. Every hour, come and gently see if it's drying up. The object is to be able to touch it gently and not come away with any of the strawberry puree on your finger. The recipe says 6 to 8 hours. So we're going to see. Our fruit is done with as much heating as we could give. It was about...
Okay, so one of the things that we found, like we've discussed that we tried the first recipe in the microwave and that it didn't work. So today we tried another recipe and it's worked, but we can't tell you some exacts. So you're going to want to turn the temperature up. We told you originally to set it as low as possible, but we would like to retract that statement and tell you to set it to about 175. That's what we moved it up to. And then after we moved it up to 175, it cooked for about 6 hours.
No, it was,
8 hours?
Yeah.
It was 6 to 8 hours. Like we would feel confident at 6 to 8 hours. So our new suggestion is cook this mixture at 175 to 6 to 8 hours. You are going to want to keep an eye on it. There is a variance in oven degrees, and just, you know, kind of the speed at which it cooks. But yes, we've found some hiccups in this recipe. So we're about to pull it out and see if we find any more hiccups.
We let it cool in the oven.
It's also important, like, you're supposed to let it cool down. So what we did is we just turned off the oven and let it cool down. Both because we had somewhere we needed to be, and also because we thought that would be a good place to cool it. We're actually, this looks pretty good. It's still kind of tacky in the center, but some of that could also be that maybe, like, because you may remember I was telling her, don't pour too much. It could be that we just didn't spread it.
Well, yeah, we could have, when we were pouring, we could have
go a little thinner than you think it needs to be. It almost needs to be kind of
You don't want to see the paper, but you don't want to have it real thick in the center.
It needs to be translucent, I think maybe would be a good way to describe it, because that's kind of how it was on these edges, and these edges look perfect. So let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can peel it off the paper and cut it up like we're supposed to. So you're supposed to cut this way. I think it'll be better. You're supposed to be able to cut it up and roll it up and save it for another day. So we're going to first cut it up, and
I think I'm going to cut long ways because I think I can avoid that spot, but I can get more.
Alright. Mom's determined that these are going to be like a fruit roll up. I just really want to try one because one of the things that our previous craft we ran that didn't work is we couldn't peel it. So I'm going to take this one that's kind of curved and see. Oh, hey! Oh my gracious, I'm so excited.
Now she's got to eat it.
Yes, I'm definitely going to eat it. Would you like some?
Yes.
Okay, we've tried all sorts of recipes. We made a homemade fruit roll up.
It's good. All right.
This is really cool. So if you want to make it like an actual fruit roll up, because maybe you don't have someone like me that will eat the whole thing, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take it and just roll it with the parchment paper still on it. And you're going to want some string. We just have some craft string actually that we had around the house. We're going to cut a little piece of it. And we're just going to tie it up. Isn't this adorable? It doesn't have to be a bow because it's not like you're going to be opening and shutting it. Tie it up. And what did you say? We can store it in the
up to
fridge
a week.
For up to a week.
Well, you don't even have to put it in the fridge. You can leave it out of the fridge, or you can put it in the fridge.
Or you can just eat it all. Like me.
Okay. Well, that's...
So thanks for joining us. Hopefully we will keep you from some of the pitfalls that we had. And you can make your own homemade fruit roll-ups and have a fun memory and a healthy snack with your kids this summer.